Hi everyone, and welcome to Carmel Unfiltered. I'm Samantha Fulling. Take a seat, grab some coffee, and come be unfiltered with me on Carmel Unfiltered, my platform, my perspective. Okay, so real question. When was the last time that you actually went through the Carmel Central School District website? Not clicked the snow day, not looked up a calendar. I mean, actually dug through it. Schools, departments, Board of Education, programs, policies, contacts, etc. Probably never? No. And honestly, same. Not until I had the idea for this episode. Who actually has time for that? If you're raising kids, you're working, you're juggling sports and dentists and everything else, you're not waking up and thinking, let me deep dive the school district governance today. That's just crazy. Only crazy people do that. But here's the thing. The system quietly runs a huge part of our day-to-day lives, especially if you are a parent within this school district. It decides how our kids are educated, it controls transportation, it manages special education services, it sets policies, it spends millions of taxpayer dollars every year. And most of us are navigating it blind, especially if you're new to the district or you're a first-time parent or suddenly dealing with middle school transitions, IEPs, or high school requirements. It gets overwhelming. Nobody hands you a manual and says, here you go. They just toss you in and you're told good luck. So that's why I'm doing this episode. It is going to be boring. It might seem unnecessary for some, but it was just a thought that I had, so here I am. This is also going to be really quick. So I'm going to walk you through what exists, how it's structured, who does what, where information lives, and when something comes up, you're not panic Googling at 11 p.m., which I have done. Think of this as your Carmel Central School District starter kit, because when you understand the system, you stop feeling powerless inside it. So just a quick district overview. Let's start with the big picture. The district serves about 3,700 students across an 85 square mile area, pulling families from Kent, parts of Carmel, Putnam Valley, Patterson, Southeast, and East Fishkill. We are not a small district. Although we've downsized body-wise over the past couple of years, we are still covering a huge landmass, and it gets crazy. The large geographic footprint with very different communities inside it makes this district just one big melting pot for a school system. On paper, the district talks a lot about educating the whole child, lifelong learning, collaboration, communication, creativity, citizenship, compassion, our 6 C's, all the things that you'd hope for a school system and its values. They also push what they want Carmel graduates to look like: critical thinkers, good communicators, collaborative, and socially responsible. That's a great vision. Everything else we talk about today, schools, departments, policies, is supposed to support that. So let's start with the Board of Education and how decisions actually get made. The Board of Education is what actually has the power in the school district, not our teachers, not our administrators, not our superintendent. The board is elected by voters, you, and oversees the entire district. They approve budgets, they hire the superintendent, they adopt policies, they vote on contracts, they shape the direction of the district. Carmel Central School District holds regular public meetings and they do stream them. Agendas and minutes are posted online and anybody can attend. And then there are committee meetings. Those are smaller groups of board members who handle things like finances, facilities, operations, policies, special education, the stuff that doesn't always get airtime at full board meetings. That is where a lot of the groundwork happens. If you only watch regular board meetings, you're only seeing the final act, not the rehearsals. And the rehearsals are also important. Just a side note, I do record or do recaps of all board meetings and committee meetings. I can link the ones that I've already done below, but there will be a separate playlist in my YouTube channel of all Board of Education recap videos. So next, the schools. Carmel Central School District has 3 elementary schools: Kent Elementary, Kent Primary, and Matthew Patterson Elementary, 1 middle school, George Fisher Middle School, Carmel High School, and a universal pre-K program, which is new. The elementary schools are K through 12, middle is 5 through 8, and high school is 9 through 12. It's also worth noting that within the high school, there's also a Carmel Alternative High School. If interested, I can also do a deep dive video on that for people who are unaware. I know that that's been questioned a lot on and off throughout the years, so I'm not even going to ask you, I'm just going to do it. Each building has its own culture, its own leadership, and communication style. High school is where graduation requirements, athletics, clubs, and college planning live. Middle school is where academic expectations ramp up and kids really start figuring out who they are socially. And the elementary schools, they're adorable, focus on foundational learning and early intervention. And then our newest program, UPK, is often a family's very first entry point into the district. Every school has its own website with its own calendars, announcements, and updates. Unless you're actively looking for it, you probably only see pieces of it when something goes wrong or something big happens, though. So the invisible engine are our different departments. This is the part nobody really pays attention to, sorry guys, but it usually is the most important part in any school district. This is what makes the district actually function day to day. The business office handles budgets, payroll, and purchasing. Curriculum decides what's taught and how progress is measured. Facilities manages buildings and maintenance. Transportation runs buses and routing. Technology manages devices and systems. Human resources hires staff and handles personnel issues. Pupil Services oversees the special education and related services. Health Services manages nurses and medical accommodations. Food Services, who do not get the credit that they deserve, feed our kids every single day. And right now, every student gets free breakfast and lunch on school days. Transportation eligibility starts about 0.7 miles from school and caps at about 15 miles. These aren't small things. These affect real families every single day. But most parents don't learn how any of this works until something breaks. For example, yesterday and today are remote days. My daughter is in elementary school. She did not bring home her laptop over break last week. I tried logging her in yesterday so she could do remote with her class, and for some reason, our home computer is blocked from logging her in. The information's correct, and it says it's correct, but blocked from logging her in. I had no idea, even after doing this research, how to figure this out, get in touch with technology. I was scrambling like a jerk. So I too am imperfect, for those of you who thought I was perfect. I know I'm funny. How to actually contact the district. So here's something practical that more people should probably know. Hence my previous gripe about not knowing how to get in touch with technology. So the district has a whole who to call structure. They do publish emails for compliments and complaints that go directly to district leadership. So complaints at carmelschools.org, compliments at carmelschools.org go directly to the Board of Education president, which is currently President Melissa Orser, and our superintendent, Michael Plotkin. This matters because venting online does not create records. However, I'm going to disagree with myself here. I have vented online before, long time prior to this, and got shit done. So sometimes venting online does get things done, but those two emails are direct access to our superintendent and access to our Board of Education. There are also upcoming board meetings and committee meetings posted. UPK registration continues for the next school year. There's information about that on the district website, and individual schools are posting weekly updates, closures, and announcements. So that is just a general overview. This is, I know, was not exciting. It was very boring. It was not flashy. I think it was a little necessary just to give you a good taste of where to go, who to talk to, who to contact, where to click. It gets crazy, and I know it does. The system does impact your kids, your taxes, and your community every single day, whether you're paying attention or not. My goal with this episode was simple, giving you a clear picture of what exists so you're not walking in blind when something comes up. If this helped you even a little bit, share it with another parent or a stakeholder, especially when someone is new to the district. Very important. And if there's a part of the system that you want me to go deeper on, budgets, programs, special education, board policy, message me and I have no problem grabbing that section of the website, really going through it and deep diving on it. So before we go, just a little disclaimer that this is my podcast and my personal platform. This is not affiliated with, sponsored by, or endorsed by Carmel Central School District or any employees or volunteers of Carmel Central School District. The views are mine or my guests. That's today's conversation, though. These are not always easy topics, although this one was just boring. But they are important. If this episode gave you something to think about, share it and help keep our community informed. You can find all episodes, links, and ways to connect at linktree/Carmel Unfiltered. And if you or someone you know has a topic that deserves attention or wants to share their experience, you can message me or email me at carmelunfiltered@gmail.com. I'm Samantha Fulling. This is Carmel Unfiltered, my platform, my perspective. Until next time.